Our next guest has a wide breadth of experience. Craig Sherburne is a doctor of philosophy, has a doctorate in law, and a PhD in microbiology. And of course, he's a stand-up comedian as well. He's here today to talk about his new business venture, Movalume, a revolutionary LED lighting product for homes and businesses. But most importantly, Craig's going to talk about how Movalume can foster entrepreneurship across North America and around the world. He's going to share with us his 4 keys to successful business that he's learned as an academic and an entrepreneur. Welcome to the show, Craig.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So Movalume, let's just get this right out of the way. You're a stand-up comic and a doctor of philosophy. I get that part, but the microbiology part I don't get.
So my father had 3 jobs when I was growing up. He was a general contractor during the evening, and during the day he was an electron microscopist, one of the top biologists across Canada and the world. I just grew up doing many things. You can't just do one job, you need to do 3, and that's the way I did it.
So this was before they started medicating people with ADHD, right?
It's called self-medication. Keep very busy, Randy. That's what you do.
I've also done a lot of different things, and I often wonder. I wonder if I would have, if I'd have been born earlier, whether I might have been medicated.
I often wonder if I would actually just do one thing, whether I would have cured cancer or not. But that's not my way. Instead, I do 3 or 4 things all at the same time.
So you have a business background, obviously. You've started this business. So what are you? Are you an entrepreneur or an academic, stand-up comic, or is it kind of a combination of the 3?
I'm a guy who's learned from everything that I've done, and that's what it all comes down to. There's no one job that I could say was a waste of my time. Instead, I've done many things. I was a venture capitalist for a little while. I started an investment bank. I was a lawyer and a patent attorney, and everything that I've ever done has all really informed me as I've moved forward about what does a good business do. I was lucky, Randy. I had people paying me $400 an hour to see what to do in a business and what not to do in a business.
Course.
And eventually I got to a point where I said, I want to start doing this myself. Had a couple of very successful business ventures, and then came across an amazing product developed actually here in Canada, assembled, and I said, this is something I want to put my money behind, and I did.
So that brings us to the company and the product, which is essentially, it looks like Christmas lights to me.
It looks, and that's how it had been marketed in the past, was as permanent Christmas lights. The moment I saw this and I said, that's a mistake. Can it be used as permanent Christmas lights? 100%. But I've also now got hotels who are putting this on the outside. I've got businesses, franchises, and then homes who are just looking to spice up the outside of their house.
So it is basically, kind of looks like Christmas lights, but what differentiates it?
So each one of the LED lights that makes up the Movalume lighting system actually has a small computer chip on it, which communicates to a bigger computer that's housed down either in your garage or in your front entranceway, which means that I can turn every one of those lights individually on and off to any color in the rainbow.
So Movalume is scaling up right now. How are you taking the product to market?
Well, I identified quite quickly that this is a product that must be installed by people who know what they're doing. You don't need to be an electrician, you don't need to be a scientist, but it's a little bit like an IKEA table. The first time you do it, it's going to be painful. The second time, you're going to know better. The third time, you're going to be an expert at it.
Oh, I thought you said the third time you're just going to hire somebody, because that's what I do.
Because you learned your lesson. And so we're not
Well, some people are more prone to it than others. I will admit that I don't know which end of the hammer is which.
And at least you've got the wisdom to know that. So we actually decided to go for a distributorship model where we will bring people who are interested in starting their own businesses or have a pre-existing business that touches a home or a business to come to us, and we supply them with the product. It really was an opportunity to help people start their own businesses or expand their current business.
This falls into the category of a product that requires some explanation in order to sell it, because, well, I mean, you see the picture and picture says 1,000 words, but how to program, for example, set up the app on your phone and start programming it. So it requires some explanation. So you're getting evangelists out there across North America who are not only installing the product, but they're also selling the product, I take it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I learned quite quickly that I'm not the average consumer, Randy. I like a box with lots of buttons and the ability to do many things, but it was quite clear that people wanted an app. They wanted an application on their phone that they just pushed a button and their lights did what the button looked like.
That's how it works. So it shows you a picture.
Oh, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Beautiful little frame that you push the button, your lights turn to that color, and if you feel like doing a different color, you just choose a different button on your phone, which is not my user experience, but I can tell you, it's the user experience for 99% of our customers.
So you're a brainiac guy. You have a bunch of letters, more letters than you can put on a business card. And you're also an entrepreneur, and you're a stand-up comedian. This is a fantastic opportunity for you to share with us secrets of success, 4 secrets of success for being a successful entrepreneur.
The first one is to use everything that you've ever learned. And it doesn't matter what the business is, Randy. Business is business. There's some common sense principles that apply throughout it all. I did clinical development for drugs. And that is the same kind of business principles that are associated with selling lights, which is also associated with selling yourself as a stand-up comedian. Right. Whether I had to sell myself to go in and perform or whether I had to sell myself to an audience, the one thing that I knew was I believed in my product. I believe in the Mobiloom product. I believed in the products that I was selling in the past. And that's the number 2 idea, is really believe in your product. Number 3 is to know your market. That is absolutely critical if you want to be an entrepreneur and a businessman. Know what you're going to be selling to and what they want and what they're looking for. And the final thing, and this is the lawyer side of me who's seen this, many businesses fail because of it, is be properly capitalized. How many businesses do we see that start where they've spent their last dime just to open the door, but they cannot survive the hiccups that will invariably come through? Properly capitalized.
Well, when you say properly capitalized, of course, I have some experience, both bad and good, in this area. I would say that there's yet to be written a business plan that ever got executed exactly as laid out. It's never happened. And in most cases, in my experience, and this would apply to stand-up comedy as well, it never works out as expected, and you always need more capital than you thought you did. So if you work it all out and you need $1 million to execute your business, do $1.5 million.
Absolutely.
2 million. And if you've got, 5 minutes of great material, develop 10 or 15 and then take the best of that and put it into the 5 minutes.
It doesn't matter what business you're in, that kind of common sense approach means a lot, but you learned it from experience. I learned it from experience, and that's the message I would really send across to others, is to learn from our experience, go in properly capitalized.
It's just a delight to have you on Biz One-on-One. We're going to have you back, and best of success with Mobiloom.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
I appreciate that.
Great to spend time with you. Now, when do we get to see the stand-up routine?
Oh my goodness.